Well, folks, here again for the weekly forecast. We had a couple of precipitation events during this last week, and the most concentrated precipitation event, of course, occurred on Tuesday and Wednesday, as we've seen that cold front driving southward and bringing much more refreshing air into our region. With that cold front passage, we did see some thunderstorm activity develop, and the most concentrated areas were across the Columbus area and Lincoln area, with anywhere from 2 upwards to 5 inches reported in these localized areas, but most of the remainder of the state was generally in the half-inch to 1-inch range for the last week. Precipitation total is not going to do enough to really reduce the drought monitor. And if we look at the drought monitor in its most current depiction going through Tuesday 7 a.m., we're looking at severe drought conditions in northeast and north central Nebraska, an expansive area that's been added of moderate drought conditions from northeast through southwest Nebraska and the southern panhandle, and abnormally dry conditions for the remainder of the areas depicted in yellow. Now, as we look at the models for this next week, what we are also looking at for today is high pressure is built in advance of that trough that moved through the region. It's now progressed to the eastern seaboard, keeps us in a northwest flow. High pressure at the surface will bring moisture from the southern United States toward the southern Rockies and then lift it up into the central Rockies and spill it over into the Panhandle. So we're expecting some thunderstorm development across the Panhandle today. And then the high pressure system will slowly edge its way a little bit farther toward the east. We still keep high pressure to our south, and that will continue that easterly flow up into the central Rocky Mountains and push that moisture up into the Panhandle and potentially even as far eastward as the Lexington region with some localized heavy precipitation. Ridge slips a little bit farther toward the east on Monday. High pressure still remains in place, so that's going to block a lot of the moisture into eastern Nebraska, but it's going to continue that feed of moisture around this high pressure system at the surface. Very concentrated moisture across most of southern portions of Colorado and the southern plains. And then the high pressure starts to expand and our temperatures start to rise back up to more seasonal totals. We still have high pressure in place across the southern United States. Easterly flow will wrap that moisture around once again, and we will see still concentrated precipitation across the southern plains, even reaching up into the Panhandle on Tuesday. And then we start to see the ridge starting to break down a little bit, and high pressure though at the surface will be in place, so that moisture feed will still be there. And then as we look at the precipitation with this, still concentrated just to our south. And even north we're moving and we get more significant moisture in the southwest part of the state. Then we start to see some troughing action starting to develop across the central and eastern corn belt, but high pressure system in the southern plains will again keep that moisture flow around it, and that will actually help to feed the moisture with that cold front. So some of eastern Nebraska may actually see some precipitation Thursday afternoon, and then on Friday we start to see that high pressure building in, much warmer conditions in place as high pressure dominates the region at the surface. And in terms of moisture, most of it expands off to our east and to the south. Very heavy precipitation. 8 to 14 day forecast keeps the cooler conditions under those cloudy conditions to the south of us. And in terms of precipitation, very heavy moisture across the southern half of the United States, dry to our north.